I'm Andrea, and I was married to Chris for 13 years.
My name is Avery Williamson, and I'm Chris's daughter.
I am Mark Killen. I am the executive minister here at the Cross Point Church of Christ.
My name's Steve Hennessy. I've known Chris since his late teens, early 20s. I worked with him, hunted with him, watched him grow up.
My name is Les Abston, and Chris Williamson and I were great friends from day one. Chris Williamson and I have known each other since May 21st of 1975, and that was the day we were both born. We went to church together, we grew up together, we hunted and fished together, went to school together. Great friends since day one.
Chris was an amazing Christian man. He was a loving husband and father, son, brother, friend, and he loved the Lord, and he loved his family. He loved being a lineman, and he loved to hunt. He loved being outdoors. Just overall, a great, great man with a great personality, a big heart that wanted to help others. So I was very blessed to have him in my life for 15 years.
He thought we were so fortunate to have what we have, to go to Mars Hill and to have, we get to have a Christmas. We get multiple presents. Some people don't even get one.
Chris always got really excited about his church family. I think when he found Cross Point, he found his home. He was real concerned about his kids going through Mars Hill. That was one of his main priorities. The reason he took the job that he was working when Chris left here is because of, I think, his faith and his family.
The main motivation for Chris to start the Wild Game Dinner was the Toy and Coat giveaway. He had been up here at church a few years in a row, spending the night outside, talking to families that were waiting to get in the next morning, and just listening to their stories and really connecting with them. And he just really saw the need in our community, and it just really touched his heart. And he really wanted to do something to try to help make that Toy and Coat giveaway even better. This ministry was a great fit for Chris. It was perfect for him because he loved to help others, and he loved hunting and being outdoors. It was just a great combination.
Without the Wild Game Fest, we would not have been able to have a successful Toy and Coat giveaway. We would have still been able to have it, and we would have been able to help families, but because of the funds raised from the dinner, we were able to help more families with even better toys. The year before the Wild Game Dinner, we had gotten a special gift from a school, $10,000. And so we were kind of coming around thinking, how are we going to replace that money? And then Chris came up with the idea of a way to replace that money, was the Wild Game Fest. And so as he began to explain it to me, I'm thinking like there's going to be like possums and things hanging around in the gym. And then he began to explain, and it started making sense. So the first year, the Wild Game Fest raised $8,000. And then I think the second year, it raised $10,000. And we typically give away around $20,000 to $25,000 worth of toys. So first Saturday in December every year, we help approximately 500 families with toys and winter coats and gloves and hats. Without this money, it would probably mean maybe 100 to 150 less families would be able to participate. Everybody gets a new Bible. Everybody has an opportunity to pray with our elders that day. And it's a great event we feel like for those that come, but even for those who are able to work, it's even a greater opportunity for them to be a part of it.
About 3 years ago, Chris came and asked me, he said, our church group, our Sunday school class has come up with an idea for the coat and toy fund at Christmas. He said, we're thinking about having a wild game supper. He said, how do you think it'll go? I said, well, it'll go good. I said, what are you going to feed them? He said, well, we're going to have deer, we'll have fish, we'll have all kind of stuff. I said, well, how are you going to get all this? He said, well, all of us pretty well, several in our Sunday school class, they hunt. Said, you hunt, and we hunt, we'll get it. I said, okay, so that's all he could talk about probably for a couple of weeks. But he really liked helping people. I think that went along with his job. That made him happier, was helping out. He was always helping, whether it was working storms, getting people's lights on, or giving to the church. He really enjoyed that.
As soon as members of Chris's church decided to create a Wild Game Fest, he called me because he and I both like to cook. And he called and immediately asked, hey, would you help cook? And of course I volunteered to. Chris took great pride in this. He worked very hard at it. He talked about it all the time. He really did. He really enjoyed giving to the kids. He thought it was a good deal, and he really put a lot of time into that, and I always respected that about him.
Sometimes because of the economy or different layoffs, you never know who's going to be touched. I will never forget, a lady worked at one of the local plants out in Industrial Park, and her husband was a school teacher. They both had gotten laid off that year. And they were there because their kids weren't going to have Christmas without this giveaway. And that night, that never really hit me until I sat out there that night and talked to that family. And, they were happy with whatever they got.
The main thing that I remember about that first Wild Game Dinner was mainly just that it came together so quickly. I think there for a couple of weeks, maybe everybody was in kind of a little bit of a panic. Is this going to come together? Because 6 weeks is not very much time to try to figure everything out. And that night when we found out that it had raised $8,000, just such a great feeling to know that all that money was going to go to help those kids. Chris was just so proud to be a part of that. He said, I finally found a really great fit for me at church and something that I can really contribute myself to and be able to help other people. And he was just really proud of all these men and women for getting everything together that first year and seeing such a success with it.
My favorite hunting memory of Chris, we were in 7th, maybe 8th grade. He got this female beagle dog named Sally, and then we were gonna rabbit hunt. We never had much success. I'm not even sure we ever killed a rabbit off of Sally. During one of our many adventures, we were trapping beaver in Stony Point Branch, and we were setting traps. Sally was with us, as she always was, and as we walked down the creek, we heard this loud screaming. And we both looked at each other and immediately knew that's Sally. So we took off running back up the creek. We had trapped Sally. She was caught in that conibear trap. It didn't kill her, and I don't know how it didn't kill her, but she survived. We got her out, but it was a funny story. Now, we were on the beavers at the time too. We killed several in that stretch of creek. We had read that in the old days, beaver tail was a favorite food of the mountain men. So we decided we was gonna cook some beaver. Well, we went back to his dad's house, Gary's house, and we got out his stepmother Tamara's crock pot, and she helped us prepare this beaver. Long story short, the beaver was not edible and the crock pot had to be thrown away.
I remember in the winter of 3rd grade, during Christmas break, we went squirrel hunting, and of course we all know gunshots are very loud, so I was about to cover my ears, And when I covered them, I heard the gunshot and I heard my dad yell, "Watch out." As I heard that, I think, what's going on? As soon as I think that, the squirrel lands on my feet, and it is not dead, so it runs right across my feet, and I start sprinting down the hill and screaming because I was so scared.
Oh, I don't know if I want to talk about the dogs. He would send me pictures occasionally. Look at these dogs. I didn't go hunting with him that much. I went turkey hunting once and squirrel hunting once.
I have so many fond memories of Chris. It's hard to tell. One of the stories is he's probably early 20s. We went to LBL one summer bow hunting. We was hunting. It was probably in the mid-90s, hot. So we was staying at the camp. We decided to go back and take a shower. So we decided when we got through, Chris was always late. You know, he was always behind, running a little bit late. Decided when we got through, it'd be cute to, when we left, to take Chris's clothes with us. So we did. About 15, 20 minutes later, we was at the cabin. Chris hadn't showed up. Finally, we look up and here comes Chris with a plastic shower curtain wrapped around him. Of course, he was mad, but he, kind of great like Chris was, you know, he enjoyed it as much as we did.